Good afternoon and welcome to somewhere that is not Montenegro. I am currently in the central region of France, the Auvergne region, just in a little normal village here that I just showed you. But this video is about traveling to Montenegro. I just spent 5 weeks there, and I think I'm ready to give you some information, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll know if it's somewhere you want to go, the cost, some advice, what to do, and is Montenegro the next big travel hotspot? Because for one, it's affordable, and two, it's really beautiful. So let me find a quiet spot here. Just in France for a bit here. I got a bike, just cruising around and being in France. So only here for a couple more days and flying to one of my favorite countries in the world. And let's see if I can get in there and do this video for you. I'll be showing clips of Montenegro throughout this video, so you'll get to see what I'm talking about. All right, this looks like the spot. Chemin de Moufle. Chemin is like a road like this, kind of like a trail. Moufle, I don't know what a moufle is. Sunflowers, or tournesol here. Tournesol means turning with the sun. And if you've ever seen a sunflower field that isn't dead like this one, they'll all be pointing in the same direction, turning with the sun. So there's the cathedral we just saw in that village. So I just completed 5 weeks in Montenegro, where I was at the sea and the mountains, the cities, saw a lot, did a lot. Was a really good experience. I'm just kind of resting up here in France before the next part of my trip. I flew into Tivat. There are 2 international airports in Montenegro. You have Tivat and the capital of Podgorica. I can never say that right, but the capital there. A lot of people, including Montenegrins, told me to kind of just avoid the capital, not because it's dangerous or anything, it's just not very interesting, there's not much there, and why bother? But if your flight goes to there, then why not? But I flew into Tivat, which turned out to be a really good choice because I was well located. First of all, Tivat's just a nice little town. It's got the port there. It's by the sea. There's plenty of swimming, and there's stuff to do, which I've documented in several videos. But also, most importantly to you, it is very close to the very popular destinations of Kotor, Perast, airplane there, to the very popular destinations of Kotor, Perast, and Budva, the beach capital of Montenegro.
Con el niño ese chaval le viene una pegada.
Well, it's tough to leave this spot, but it is swim time. I'm going to go to the beach that was in this direction where the video started. Each of those places, Kotor and Perast, is like a 30-minute bus ride. Kotor's actually longer because the roads are so bad, like so congested with traffic because it's so popular. And Perast is just another like 15-20 minutes from Kotor, so you can easily do and see a lot just from Tivat. I was in Tivat for, I think it was like 10 or 12 days, and I had nice apartments throughout my stay there. The average was about 40 euros a night, which is very affordable. The food in Montenegro is very affordable. If you go into a restaurant with 10 euros, you're going to get filled up with some pretty good food probably. It's been a little hot here, as you can see. So overall, I would advise arriving in Tivat because of its location and because Tivat itself, I found, was a nice break from all the tourist mayhem of Kotor, Budva. I mean, these places are like super packed, and Tivat is just next to it. And Budva there, I mean, it was okay. It's, if you like the beach party scene, the beaches are really nice, probably the best beaches I've been to, just because they have shade and they have sand, and the setting is just beautiful. But when you throw in the amount of people there, the crowds, the noise, it's not really my thing. But if you like that, then go for it. All the other beaches I went to in Montenegro were like stone or pebble, or often just concrete slabs with a ladder going down into the water there. So it is worth going to Budva just for the beaches, and there's the old town there. But keep in mind, Kotor and Perast also have beaches and swimming right there in the city. So I really enjoyed my time there, and then I took a pretty long bus ride. It turned out to be like 4.5 hours. It was marked as 3.5 because we had to go through Kotor, and anything that goes through Kotor is just add an hour because the traffic is like crazy. Like, I think when I went from Tivat to Kotor, park the bike here, just be in the shade here for a second. Just going from Tivat to Kotor was like 45 minutes, and I think it's like 3 kilometers or something, so it's just ridiculous. So arrived in the mountain town of Zabjlak, which is where you'll probably stay if you want to visit Durmitor National Park and the Dinaric Alps and Black Lake, which I highly recommend. This was the highlight of my trip. I booked 5 nights initially in Zabjlak, but I ended up staying 2 weeks just because the hiking was so good. It wasn't so hot. I really like Zabjlak, just a small little mountain village, and basically I hiked every other day, really long hikes, and then took a day off to rest. And again, the price was really good. It was around 40 or 50 euros. And when I say that, I mean for a whole apartment to myself, Wi-Fi, modern, clean, comfortable, everything you'd want. And most of these places you could easily stay 2, maybe 3 people. So if you're traveling with people, then it's even cheaper for you. It's totally worth it. I mean, just the hiking, if you want to relax and chill out, that is the place. I highly recommend it. I made a bunch of videos on Durmitor National Park and hiking in the Alps there, and it was one of the best hiking experiences of my life. So I was very pleased with that. And again, the prices are great. You can go into a restaurant with 10 euros, maybe 15 euros in Zabjlak, since it's kind of a tourist town, and eat really well. I'm coming down from the Palanikias peak. Took about 3 hours from Black Lake there. I am literally all alone up here. I haven't seen a single person in over an hour and a half. It's about 3:30. Sun goes down at 8, so I have plenty of time to get back and even take a swim in Black Lake. Not that cold. That is nice. Fresh water. Nice change from the coast. Walnut tree here. Look at that. That one's just about ready, it looks like. And then after Zabjlak, I took the bus back down to the coast to the small town of Rizan, which is about a 10-minute bus ride from Perast. And there was really nothing there. It was just to stay in sort of a unknown Montenegrin village that was near Perast and also near Herceg-Novi, where I spent 2 nights. Where I spent 2 nights. I didn't film anything there, but I stayed there because I was on my way to Dubrovnik to catch my flight in Croatia there. It's should be about an hour bus ride from Herceg-Novi, but it ended up being like 2 or 3, I can't remember. It was really long because of the borders, the waiting, and they have to inspect everyone that's on the bus. There's a border leaving Montenegro, and then there's a border entering Montenegro. And this, in the high season, and this was July, the end of July, it's a pretty long line, but there's no other option. So I did enjoy my time in Herceg-Novi, and it is a very popular destination for people. So I never had a car during my whole trip. I always took either long distance buses, but I also took the Blue Line bus a few times, which are local buses that cost about €1. And these are hit and miss, even though they're supposed to come every 30 minutes or whatever it is. Sometimes they don't come at all and you end up waiting. So something to be aware of there. You can rent cars. I saw car prices to be around 40, maybe starting at €40 a day, which I didn't want to do, so I ended up not really needing it. But a lot of people that I met did arrive in Dubrovnik, Croatia, rent a car from there, and then tour through Montenegro and other Balkan countries, and then return the car in Dubrovnik and fly out. Some things about Montenegro in general. The reason it isn't very expensive is because well, it's not a very rich country, to be honest. One of my Airbnb hosts told me that the minimum wage in Montenegro is about €300 per month. So when you're in a grocery store, it's not like the groceries are like really, really cheap or something. So you can imagine living on €300 a month. That's a tough one. So it is kind of a poor country. The vibe in Montenegro isn't like Thailand or something. It's not the land of smiles, so on the surface things can feel a little rough, but as soon as you speak to people and interact, it is generally fine. They're helpful, friendly, and English is really not very widely spoken, so that's another sort of problem as far as getting a feel for the people, the vibe. People just don't speak a lot of English there. So, but when I crossed the border into Dubrovnik, I spent 1 night there. It was just to sleep near the airport. But as soon as I got into Croatia, you do notice a difference. The vibe is a little better, more sort of friendly feeling, and English is widely spoken. But also keep in mind, Croatia's been developing their tourist industry for decades now, whereas Montenegro, I'm not sure when it started, but you can feel it's kind of still in the development stage, which is why the title of this video is Montenegro the next big travel hotspot? Because it has everything that people are looking for. It's affordable, it's beautiful, the food is pretty good. It has its own culture, which you can discover. It has history in the old towns of Kotor, Perast, and various others. So it has everything in place. There are major airports. It's near Croatia, which is already developed. So if you are thinking about going to Montenegro, I would definitely do it, and I would do it soon, because generally places like this, when you can feel the ball starting to get rolling, the prices are going to go up, the crowds are going to get thicker. Another thing to keep in mind if you're a digital nomad is that it is not a Schengen country yet. It probably won't happen anytime soon, but for example, Croatia just joined the Schengen territories last year and shifted everything to the euro, and so you are limited to your 90 days. This is speaking as an American. You are limited to 90 days in Schengen countries in a 6-month period. So 5 weeks in Montenegro counted no days. That's a good thing because the country I'm going to in just a few days is a Schengen country. I've been saving my days for this experience. It's one of my favorite places in the world. That's going to do it for me for this video. I hope it helped you get a sort of a general review, general feel for Montenegro. And next video will be coming from Paradise. So we'll see you then. And it's just starting to rain, so good time to end the video. Oh boy.